today, you'll see that there's subtle differences in the coverages that are provided. Some, Alamo Insurance Group has higher benefits than some. Texas Insurance Service Center has some and others. And then Salazar Insurance Groups had highest in some of the other groups. Of the highlighted yellow ones that the committee uses or the district uses the most. And then at this time, I guess, we'll just open it up for questions.
So I have a question. So if an athlete or a student is hurt and they choose to get services performed out of the valley, in San Antonio, Austin, under our current provider, are they covered? Or does it have to be within the network?
It has to be in the network.
So now from what you're seeing with Texas Insurance Services, I heard that that's more of a statewide. So if a student chooses to go see a specialist in a different area like San Antonio, they would be covered under this program.
Correct, as long as they're in the network.
Yeah. And then, so the ones that are highlighted that you're showing here are the ones that are most frequently used by our
By the
students.
trainers, correct.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. For instance, miscellaneous services. We see that it says 100% usual and customary up to 1,000. And then we see others that say up to 750. That's stating that that carrier is providing more coverage?
Correct. So for example, for the miscellaneous services, then Texas Insurance Service Center, they're providing up to 100% of the usual and customary charges up to $1,000. And the other two companies are providing 100% of usual and customary up to $750. But as all three vendors stated, they are no balance bill. So as long as you do utilize a doctor in their network, the doctor is okay with getting either the $750 or the $1,000.
So in that case, it would be the same across the board. There's no difference in benefit,
Well, correct.
provided that they see the.
As long as it's somebody
The
that's in network, correct.
So that's what you're seeing across all these yellow items. It would be the same.
Correct.
There's no difference in benefit, essentially.
On the, what the actual payment to the doctor is, that's where the difference would be.
Okay. But regardless there, you're seeing more coverage because it's 1,000 versus the
Correct.
750.
Yes.
On the next item for surgery, with the existing one, it would cover up to 3,000. The other one would be 2 and 4,500.
Correct.
So, you can see that basically very, very similar, a couple of different ones, but
Very
if
subtle
they
differences.
go into a network, then it's covered, there's no balance bill for them.
Correct.
With all three vendors. The difference being that the recommendation that you're making would tend to cover more specialists throughout the state rather than just local doctors, right?
Correct, in addition to just the price factor itself.
Yeah, but I'm just concerned because I know that there's some players and some students that have gotten injured and have chosen because they want from what they see, a physician to tend to them outside of the valley.
Correct.
Because they're recommended as being a specialist in that area.
Correct.
Then this vendor, if their network, is going to cover it, even though it's out of the valley.
In the valley,
Whereas
correct.
our current provider is only going to cover within valley.
Correct.
Okay.
No.
I don't think so. Mm-mm.
No, sir, not at this time. There's, presentations are over.
So I'm just looking out for, what's going to cover our students in a better fashion. And I thank you
So-
for pointing that out.
So your committee recommended Texas Insurance for that
Correct.
reason?
Based on the criteria.
Based on the criteria? Yours and-
Correct. So if you take a look at the tabulation sheet, the only difference is going to be in the price. All the other criteria were similar in fashion. Just like we stated earlier, all the benefits are very similar. There's only very subtle differences.
Could you change it to the other tabulation sheet? The other.
Which one is up there?
The one where it says the coverage, how it determines the
Oh, the
coverage.
next,
The
yes,
next
can we
one?
move the slide up?
Yes. There you go.
There we go.
And then Trainer Garcia's experience with all three carriers, he's never experienced an issue with either one of them. They all
I'm sorry,
take.
could you repeat that again, I'm sorry.
In Trainer Garcia's experience, he's never experienced any negative experiences with them. They all cover the doctors that he primarily uses here locally. I don't believe he's ever had an instance where a parent received a bill was all covered either through the primary insurance and a combination of the student athletic insurance. One of the things that we did want to highlight, and one of the things that did stand out on the Texas Insurance Service Center proposal, is they have an agreement with DonJoy, which is a creator of orthopedic braces. They do cover, they provide a benefit for $500 for those braces if it's another brand. But if you utilize the DonJoy brand, it covers it up to full. So for example, if they were to get a knee brace, the DonJoy brand, and it's $800, the plan would cover it in full. That's an agreement that they have with their network, and I believe that some of the vendors that you utilize have those DonJoy products.
Mr. Garcia, if you
accessible.
want to, would you like to say something, sir? Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've worked, hello to all.
Thank
I've
you.
worked with all three insurances, and they are pretty much the same in the coverage. Very rarely you'll get a parent with a bill that decided to go out of network, and I mean, sometimes that's out of our call, but we refer them to the people in network. But yeah, coming to the insurance that we have now, we had a player go to San Antonio to go get a surgery, and they wanted a doctor in San Antonio, not here in the Valley. And the insurance that we had now, we found a doctor in San Antonio in network and covered it all. So
They did,
I've been pleased with all of them. Yes.
Now, the other thing that I was going to ask, I know that I heard in the presentation about that, if a student gets hurt where they become paralyzed, there's that additional insurance coverage. Are you finding that among the other two as well, or no? I don't know if I heard that.
haven't had to deal with anything that serious.
But it's a coverage that's provided. I don't know, Mr. Mendez, did you see anything like that that's provided on the other two?
like a catastrophic.
The
It's included
catastrophic.
there. If you look at the
Catastrophic.
Exhibit 8, the catastrophic premium, that's the premium that we're paying for that catastrophic coverage.
Okay.
So then if you scroll down to the total premium, that's the premium that includes the student athletic insurance and the catastrophic premium.
Okay.
And then there's some details there below the total premium of that catastrophic coverage.
So essentially, the coverage is the same.
Correct. Then that's why the
benefit.
rankings, it's really the only difference is going to be on the price.
Yeah.
Price and coverage, somewhat.
Correct. There's subtle differences in the coverages.
But you
But
said
like
there
Mr.
were
Agosta was
essentially,
saying, I mean, it's an added benefit for the physician. So instead of getting $750, they'll get $1,000. But for us on our end, it is a lower cost to go for that $1,000 benefit. For example, on those miscellaneous services.
yeah.
So that's why you were recommending Texas Insurance Service Center, correct?
The recommendation from the committee was based pretty much strictly on price. If you look at the
Because-
tabulation sheet.
But because the benefits are relatively all similar.
Because they're all
going to get
there is
covered
no
the same way.
differentiating factor between the benefits, so we really couldn't nail down and say, okay, well, we're going to assign 5 points for this coverage because they're pretty much very similar.
Yeah. Anything in network is going to be covered.
Correct.
So it's pretty much a wash.
Correct.
So the only factor that you could consider is premium.
The total overall price.
Okay.
Well, it just seems like in radiology, you have, under Texas Insurance, you have $250, what is it, the x-ray, and 50 for the reading, and then Salazar has 100%, what is it, UNC, up to $200.
The usual
The usual and customary, okay. So it covers it at 100%. So on this one, it covers only $250 per
Correct.
x-ray?
But the $250 is higher than the $200 that Salazar covers. Because it does state 100% usual and customary up to $200.
So
But it covers
that's to me the little bit of the confusion is that
Yeah.
they're only going to provide you $200 worth of
Only
coverage.
Correct.
200.
Right.
The other one provides more.
And the other one is going to provide you more, $250.
And then plus
Plus an
$50 for the
additional-
reading. Correct.
Plus an additional $50 for the
For
x-ray
the reading.
reading.
Correct.
That's why I'm saying to me that that seems to be providing a little bit more of a benefit in certain areas.
Correct.
So it says 100%, but 100% up to $200. Anything over that, it's not going to cover.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So I have I'm sorry, is there any other discussion from the board? Coach, any feedback?
No.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Howe and a second from Ms. Delgado to continue with Salazar Insurance Group. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Thank you. Discussion and possible action to approve budget amendment number 6, general operations. Mrs. Mendiola.
Madam Chairman, administration is recommending approval of budget amendment number 6, general operations.
Okay, I have may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
So we have a motion from Mr. Garza. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Mr. Hernandez. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, since we've already gone through 8, we can go ahead and pass that one. Okay. Human Resources, 1, discussion and possible action to approve employee retention and recruitment stipend pending final approval of the ESSER 3 grant. Mrs. Mendiola.
Madam Chairman and Board of Trustees, as you can see from the flyer, we are proposing, as soon as we are able to confirm that we will be receiving the ESSER 3 funds, we're proposing a employee COVID-19 recovery stipend to reward our hard work and dedicated employees, staff that have been with us as of last year. So as you can see, we clearly state on the flyer, August of 2021, we would like to offer a retention stipend of $1,000 to all employees who were employed with Mercedes ISD during the 2020-2021 school year and who will be returning for the 21-22 school year. That would be given in August. Then we have a January 2022 stipend, which will be a recruitment and retention stipend of $1,200. And stipulation is they must be employed with Mercedes ISD for the 2021-2022 school year. Additionally, we would like to continue the teacher extra duty pay rate of $35 per hour throughout the 21-22 school year to ensure that our teachers are compensated for their time, their effort, their hard work and dedication in extra duty pay. So again, administration is recommending approval of this proposed stipend pending approval of the ESSER 3 grant.
May I have a motion, please?
I so move.
I have a motion for Mr. Hernandez. May I have a second?
Second.
I have a second for Mr. Acosta. Any discussion?
Absolutely. Hey, Chairman, Ms. Mendiola, very poignant questions. I know we're in a competitive field now, as everyone is aware of the new schools. I don't want to name them out, but single them out, right? But certain districts are allocating a substantial amount of money. And don't get it wrong, Ms. All this, it's very appreciative. It's bien agradecido. It's, these feudal words I tell you, but as a teacher, I really appreciate the hard work your staff do. Now, my question to you is, we have the front. We have bus drivers, bus monitors, our LVNs, the custodians, the maintenance, and of course, your teachers. They're basically the front line. So, is it because of the feds they can't work with us like a tier 1, tier 2 type, or it just needs to be across the board? Because I notice, basically what I'm trying to ask is it by the feds that we have to do across the board?
No, sir. No, there's no requirement to make it even across the board. We can have tiers, we can give certain levels of employees different amounts.
Okay.
That's up to that's a district decision.
No, I made the motion because I was thinking that, again, I should have asked first, but we had to put it on the floor to have the discussion. And I guess you answered that question on there. But I guess we're restricted because of the funding?
We are restricted to the funding, yes, sir. So, Mercedes, again, is a small district. We're not receiving the millions that,
Some other
that
districts
some other
are.
districts receive. And districts are proposing different, pay raise amounts, proposing different stipend amounts, proposing technology. It just depends on the funding that they already currently have and then the additional funding that they are receiving. So I believe a $2,200 stipend in 1 year is pretty competitive with our neighboring districts.
Yeah. It's just, I just wanted to talk to the public about it, that we're having discussions. And that,
Right.
we'd love to give, some of the high tier, stipends, but, I mean, you've answered the question.
Yes, sir.
And, well, I made a motion, and I really want to have the discussion with the board and with you, Ms.
And again, this is only
We'd love to hear more.
the recruitment retention stipend.
Okay.
There could possibly be other stipends, depending, again, what our budget looks like, where we're going to put all those dollar amounts. We may increase certain pay with certain individuals
Okay.
that we see are once again, in the front lines or have to work overtime. So not just teachers, as we mentioned, the $35 an hour. We could look at other employees who may receive hazard pay. So there's flexibility with the grant monies.
Well, I greatly appreciate it, because sometimes, just thinking out of the box, and I guess you're alluding to that.
Yes, sir.
Trying to be creative, and I appreciate that, so. No, that's all I have, Ms. Mendiola and Lay Chair.
Okay. Any other discussion or comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Consent agenda. I'm going to start to my right. Ms. Delgado, will you take anything? No?
No.
Mr. Hernandez?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Garza?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
Mr.
No, ma'am.
Howell?
No.
No? Mr. Acosta?
No.
No? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed?
So moved. Second.
I have a so moved by Mr. Garza and a second by Mr. Hernandez. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, executive session. Personal pursuant to Section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code and attorney consultation pursuant to Section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. 1, resignations, terminations, appointments, evaluations, reassignment, duties, and discipline of professional, paraprofessional, and non-contract employees, teacher substitutes, and substitutes for maintenance, transportation, and cafeteria department. B, discussion and private consultation with attorney regarding pending or contemplating litigation, settlement matters, and/or matters where the professional duty under the state board requires private consultation with the school attorney. It is now, what time is it?
9:38.
It is now 9:38, and we are now in executive session.